hot, man.
Brother.
It's nasty hot.
Anyways, das is on the way now, no?
Oh, okay, I just texted him now also.
Oh, wait.
You there?
It's a man t-shirt.
Damn. Should have worn a black t-shirt.
Why? Nah, it's the contrast, man. The contrast.
Should have worn a black t-shirt.
The contrast. This is mad. I'm great.
Yeah, I'm fucking tired.
Brother.
Yo, I'm fucking tired. Oh my god. I'm burnt. I'm actually burnt out. I came to the realization that I'm burnt out.
Brother, I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
100% I'm on the same buzz.
I came to the realization that I'm burnt out, and after the cave, I am taking a leave of absence.
How?
I don't know. I need to figure that shit out. Whether it's just like disassociating from the broader community and like still do gigs and shit, like minimal interaction, just like trying to reset somehow. I don't know how. But
I don't know how.
yeah, I gotta figure that shit out.
Can you redesign writing?
Me? Yeah. I mean, to
We
be
also
fair, I
sat
was here when he
together.
wrote
Yeah.
this cut down, but yeah, I can.
I mean, it's not terrible, but
Yeah.
that isn't really my handwriting, to be fair,
Yeah, it's
either.
not terrible.
Like, my handwriting is very neat, actually. This is just scribbling.
Yeah.
Cave, definitely. Pianoland, Josh being there. Did you go?
Yeah, I
Okay,
was there.
cool.
It was actually really fun.
Kanye, I'm...
Nah.
Usher?
I don't think we're ready to touch on music like that just yet.
Okay, Usher?
Nah, scratch that shit. Why you not go?
It's 4 o'clock, bro. And I'm pumped. I'm dead.
Oh yeah, but they do the
They
on
booked
the
me
day
11
booking.
o'clock, bro.
Yeah, they do the on the day booking thing.
But
so
yeah, we'll talk about that. And then just health, bro. I think it's a big one.
It's a big-
physical health, mental health,
Yeah.
burnout. Yeah.
that's a big thing. I actually wanted to add that in there, especially with like how I'm feeling
Yeah.
and you also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's good.
touch
That
on-
can
I'ma cook
segue
this man
into
also.
that can segue into my brain being fried.
Hey yo, welcome back to the Let's Talk Foreplay. Or Let's Chat Foreplay, no? Talk, chat.
Did you get the name of our podcast wrong already?
It's only my second week out here. Come on, man. But yeah, welcome back to the Let's Chat Foreplay or Let's Talk Foreplay podcast.
I think it's Let's Talk Foreplay.
Yeah, that rings a bit better.
No,
Remember,
that's
guys,
what we've called it. It's
Did we
it's what
start
it,
it off? Yeah, guys, it's
Yeah.
only our second week out here. Come on, give us time to breathe. Brody's laughing at me on some.
So last week I started the
It's my
the
turn.
intro. I said let's yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
let's
You got
run
this.
it back. Yeah, welcome back to the Let's Talk Foreplay
We're
podcast.
keeping all of this.
My
in.
name is Kane.
This is Gremlin.
Yeah, this is usually where we go about discussing current events in the scene, what it's like to be DJs in our industry, and just some things we've experienced over the weekend.
Yeah. Firstly, I think I just want to say thank you to everybody that has shown love for the pod already. It's been
Yeah, it's
yeah.
very overwhelming, very
Yeah.
appreciative of it. We wanted the first episode to hit, but I think the response we got towards it was like really crazy. That was a big one.
Yeah, I mean everybody that tuned in from the jump, like for the premiere, even just like us announcing it was already like people were interested in it. But I was completely overwhelmed by the response. Like everyone I've seen this week has just been mentioning to me like they've really enjoyed what we're chatting about and the insights and all that type of thing. So I think we're onto something good here.
Yeah, we are. Like we said last week, it's insights into the scene that you're not gonna get on any other show. Really, you're not gonna get that on a day-to-day basis. So, yeah, it's really good, and like that's the main response that I got as well. Us talking about things that the normal outsider and the normal Patreon doesn't get. They don't often see these things or hear about it. So
He loves that word, eh?
Patreon,
Isn't it patron?
it's spelled with
Patreon
an
is
E
a-
though. Is it not? Patreon
Patreon is a site where you can buy
fact
stuff.
checker.
Brody,
Fact checker.
Patreon. All right, let's get into it. So, there are a few things I want to chat about this week. I think obviously, our weekend recap of how gigs went, and stuff that's coming up, of course. There wasn't anything crazy
This weekend?
week.
Nah,
Yeah,
not in particular.
not wild, but I think there's a lot that maybe internally we've wanted to just express our thoughts about. So how was the weekend, bro? What was your gigs like?
For me, it was quite chilled. I played at there's a new club, just like it's down the road from the one, so like literally a couple doors down. They called Club C99. So I played there. It was actually a really good, dope lineup. I'm not gonna lie. So it was like myself. I don't know if you know DJ Harvey. He's a Joburg piano DJ.
Okay.
Pretty big on that side. And then Mr.Thela also, he played
Oh, dope.
on that same lineup. Yeah.
Got signed to UMG now, eh?
Yeah, I
Mad
saw
one.
that. That was wild.
Big
Me,
up
I'm
Taylor.
wondering what was all the flights he was taking up and down last year. I guess we know now.
Yeah.
Shout out Mr.Thela. That's actually
Was
massive.
there any information about like what the deal was?
Not that I
Anything
know
made
of.
public? I hope he got.
Nah.
I
Yeah,
hope he
surely you got
racks,
racks, bro,
Like,
on some. Yeah,
like
that-
7-figure type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
But,
would be good
yeah.
though.
He
I
deserves
think I think it's massive for our culture and just what we do in general. And obviously, you know, a lot of our industry guys, you know, a lot of the DJs that we work with, they look up to this man, and to watch him achieve something as big as this should only make you wanna push and, you know, work yourself into that kind of situation. So again, shout out. It's massive for it's equivalent to Tyler winning the Grammy, I'd say, you know, having someone sign a deal with that big of a record label. Yeah, that's massive for our industry.
For sure. I mean, it's not obviously not the first artist, you know, South African artist to do that, but it's just like I feel like it's somebody that we know.
It's
It's
someone
like
that's
it's not
accessible.
the superstar sort of, you know. Even though he is, it's just like
Yeah.
he's kind of like one of us in a way.
Yeah, because
So
you
to
can
see
walk
that,
up to him,
yeah.
you can shake his hand, you can chat to
Yeah.
him. You often share a lineup with him
Yeah.
also. And just the fact that, for lack of a better term, that is that accessible makes that dream more believable. You know, because
Yeah.
you've spoken to this guy, you've interacted with him.
Humility, eh?
Yeah,
Super humble. Yeah.
So that's why it's like it's big in that regard.
Yeah, nice. What else? Where else did you play? You had not the busiest weekend
Not
by
a
your
quiet
standards.
weekend. And then it was Project A on Saturday,
Yeah.
which was yesterday. Yeah, that. Yeah, we record these episodes on a Sunday, guys. So when we say yesterday and tomorrow,
Yeah.
bear in mind it's on a Sunday.
Today is
so
Sunday.
Yeah, we record on a Sunday.
Yeah, so I want to get to Project A. 'cause he's- I
can't
saw him
wait.
last night and he
can't
just
wait.
said, "I can't wait to cook you today. He's gonna cook me." It's 31 outside and
Yeah.
So,
okay.
yeah,
Guys, we kind of messed up. I'm not gonna lie.
we messed up badly.
Yeah. So the thing was in the recording, and we actually had like a crazy segment. Das Capital pulled up on us like spontaneously, and he was literally like on the sofa, giving us some input on certain topics that we were talking about, and then I clocked that the thing wasn't recording. So I'm gonna blame my sound engineer.
That's me. That's all on me.
Sound engineer.
I think I kicked the cable out or something like
Yeah.
that. But you know, we're learning as we're going.
It's like we
Was
said,
meant
it's
to
only
be.
our second week out here. So,
Yeah.
so give us time. Give us.
Actually, the same thing
grow.
happened last week too. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
that was more bathroom breaking.
Yeah.
I think that's forgivable. This week now we actually had something
It's
really
okay.
funny happen. But yeah, let's pick it up from where we kind of dropped the ball off. Unifest.
yeah. So that was a gig I did on Saturday. It was a festival type vibe in Stellenbosch. Really dope. It was cool. But I played like an afternoon set. It was like half an hour set, and all
Yeah.
the sets were half an hour except for like the last few headliners. And we were just chatting about like the whole thing of, you know, these events, trying to get as many DJs as possible because that pushes the marketing. So it's like 5 DJs compared to 15 DJs means triple the amount of marketing and
Yeah.
exposure. So I get that, but the experience for the people on the day is, you know, it's very stop, start and jumping because you're jumping through genres and vibes every half an hour. You know, there's no real time to build a set. Me, like personally, I like to play hour and a half sets, 2 hour sets, because then you can just get into it properly, you know.
Yeah. Like even on that though, I mentioned it before the recording cut, that like in situations like that, I feel like promoters need to curate the lineup properly. You know, they have to let it flow in a certain way. And again, if I had to call out or if I had to shout out a particular event system that does it really well, it's Groovy Nights. Like, you know, Groovy Nights does 15 plus DJs at a lot of the events and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But the flow is really important. So that like they'll start with like a deep housey vibe, and then they'll go into like more loungy piano, and then some hip hop, R&B, then some trap, and then swing it back around. And that keeps the flow, like you said. It's
Yeah.
not stop-start. You hear consistent sound for
It's
maybe
not this roller coaster of energy. Yeah.
So there's a consistent sound for an hour and a half. And yes, you heard 3 DJs play, but it's a consistent sound. And then
Sure.
another 3 will play consistent sound. And that's very
But
important.
that's
when it
also
comes to events.
DJs putting events together with the mindset of that. You know.
That's true.
So
Shout out Enrico Salento.
shout
one
out
time.
Enrico. But yeah, so I mean, it was a good event in any case.
Yeah.
Then I went from there and I did
A restaurant gig.
a restaurant gig, and it was, I've played this event before, and the last time I played it was really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved it, and I was actually really excited to play this gig. So I prepared my set, everything was hour and a half set, and I get there and like no one's on the dance floor. And it's like an actual dance floor area. So this is not a background type DJ thing where we just background music. It's meant for people to get up and dance and have a good time. But there was no one on the dance floor, and this is like, quote unquote, the peak time of the night, 9:30 at a restaurant. Yeah. And no one dancing. And I mean, I know the DJ that was playing, and he's a good DJ, so I wasn't doing anything wrong. And he just told me like he's really struggling. And as I'm having the conversation with him, I'm sitting there and I'm like, it stinks here. It like genuinely stinks, like ass, like old milk and ass. And I just knew that this was playing into the situation.
people
'Cause
not
nowhere
dancing,
else around the
yeah.
restaurant smells like
Just
this.
there.
Just there on the dance floor.
Are you saying that's sabotage?
Sabotage. Sabotage is it's gonna be our
That's a key word for
Yeah,
today,
it's our
guys.
episode.
So if you
Name
want to
of the
touch,
episode.
before we continue, we'll get into this in like the next 5 minutes. But yeah, sabotage is the key word for today because Gremlin is saying someone sabotaged him, but in reality, yeah, he just got on cock.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, yeah, the management's giving me a hard time about, well, not the management, just like, you know, some of the staff, they're telling me like the people can't hear themselves speak and please put the volume down. And eventually my bass was like all the way down. And I'm thinking to myself, what's the point of us being here as DJs? You know, we're trying to do something. Then eventually, like I had friends that came to come, you know, party with me and watch me play, and they sat outside. They didn't want to be there. Eventually they came in and then there was a bachelor party, and the bachelor party, like, so it was just guys on the dance floor. Literally like maybe 15 guys on the dance floor, no girls.
Inconsistent
And
ratio.
that's, you know, I can't, for me, it's, I can't do that.
Nothing motivating
And
about
this
that.
guy's, it was the groom, and he's doing handstands, and like they were lit.
Okay.
Like taking his shirt off, they were lit.
Fairs.
And someone came up to me and they requested Nelly Furtado, I'm Like a Bird. And it was just,
Is that the I'm like a bird?
Yeah.
I wanna fly with
I don't know if
you.
they were like
Oh
trolling
my
or what,
God.
but yeah, it wasn't the best time on my side. Personally.
Yeah, on some guys. Okay, the DJs who are watching this, can we please normalize walking around with a Yoko? And any song request, it's 500 rand. If they don't tap
Straight
the
up.
Yoko, there's not.
Sorry.
There's no song request. Yeah, because again, it's left
500,
field.
eh?
500.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's the
Yeah.
standard. Let's keep it
500.
at, okay.
Yoko, 500.
We
every
standing
song
on
request.
business.
Standing on business.
Okay, done. So yeah, that was that gig. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Then we get to Project A, and you playing right before me at Project A. Now bear in mind, I know if Kane's playing before me, I know I need to make sure to get there at least half an hour before I start to hear what he's playing, because we play similar music.
Yeah.
And he's cooking, it's going crazy, doing his thing, and I'm taking notes of what you're playing, and then I jump on.
Were you?
Yeah, I
though?
was. But again, it was like the third gig of the night.
Yeah.
You know, the
fairs.
burnout was kicking in, and hey, man, it was.
I'm not saying it isn't.
So
But
what is this?
But on some, yeah, we spoke about this last week, Mus.
Yeah. Okay. So bad DJs, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a hypocrite basically, and so you played. I obviously wasn't concentrating that much, and then I'm loading up my track. Was like maybe my third or fourth track, and Wardenberg's standing next to me, and I ask him, did Kane play surround sound? And he's like, nah, didn't play it. And I'm like, you sure? He's like, nah, he didn't play it. I play it, and he says, oh, is this surround sound? Yeah, he played this. And you looking at me, you and Josh sitting there, you're like, this guy.
I found him. So we have a rule, right? And I hold everyone accountable to this rule. It's like if you heard the other DJ play it, you can't play it.
Yeah.
And that's just like etiquette in my opinion,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like an
And
unspoken kind
yeah,
of
it's
thing.
like I'll tell Mia all the time, like, because we usually pull up 30 minutes to an hour before our sets. And then, like, if Mia's playing the next set and we hear certain songs that she'd play in her set, I would tell her, you can't play that again, right?
Yeah.
And then she'd look at me and she'd laugh. But again, that's why I'm laughing about it, because last week on the pod you said, like, yeah, there was this other dude who basically played the same set as you immediately after you.
But I mean, that's like 20 songs, bro.
Yeah, but I hold myself to a standard and I hold you to the same one. So even one song
Like
is
you
already...
should, yeah, you should.
Yeah, one song is already... So
For
that's
sure.
why when I looked at it,
But
I
that
was
was,
like...
okay, I'm gonna say that wasn't my fault. I looked for advice from an outside source and they sabotaged me. Sabotage.
Shout out DJ Wanas.
Yeah. And then I play Popstar Drake. Cool, works well. And 5 minutes later, I don't know what went through my mind, but I played the original version first, and then I have an edit that starts with Gangsta's Paradise, so the big like orchestral,
Yeah.
gangster vibe, and then it drops, and then I realized, I think to myself, like, did I play this already? Because I had done 2 gigs that day already, I thought maybe I played it earlier in the day,
Yeah.
and I turn around and there's like, I asked the people behind me, like, did I play the song? And they said, don't know. And then I look at you and you're like, and you ran to me. You ran straight up to me and you said, I want to cook you on the podcast tomorrow.
Fang you with the... I had to, bro. Like I said, we hold ourselves to a standard, and at the end of the day, I feel like it's a safe space to be able to tell each other, like, you caught on
It's a
cock.
safe space. Yeah, of course, bro. And honestly, like, you're the one person that I know he's going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Respectfully, I'm going to be like,
respectfully.
hey, Buta, fang you.
It's a good thing that there is a sense of friendly competition between us and
yeah,
all other
100%.
DJs, to be fair, but I think especially between us because we keep each other on our toes, Like, I'm not trying to, if I'm on the same lineup as you, I'm trying to be better than you, bro.
Yeah,
And you
respectfully,
trying to be
bro.
better
Me,
than
I'm trying to
you know what
murder
I'm
you,
saying?
boy.
100%, and that's like what it should be.
Yeah,
And
like...
everybody wins at the end of the day
Yeah, I
because now
think
we're
of-
both doing our best job,
Mm.
and the crowd is,
Yeah, I
having
think
the
of
best
Kendrick's
experience.
control verse when he calls out everyone. That's me on a lineup essentially. Like, that's me on a lineup. Like, respectfully, I'm trying to be the most memorable set of the night.
100%, bro.
Yeah,
That's the
because
idea.
like even Aiden from Project A, shout out Aiden. Like, he came to me, or when I was done with my set and I like went to greet everybody. He questioned me and he's like, bro, I don't know how you did it, but you got these people to dance and you got these people out of their seats and just like
Last
moving
night.
them. Yeah,
Because when I walked in there, it was going. It
Yeah.
wasn't full, but the energy was really
a lot
good.
of people were like hanging out on like the balcony area
Yeah.
because it was so hot also.
Yeah.
A lot of people like stayed away from the dance floor. But he came to me and he was like, I don't know how you did it, but you did that shit. And I was like, yeah, I did that shit. But yeah, shout out Aiden and Project A.
So then he comes to me. He's like, first he said, can you do a bit more of a like an old school 2000s vibe because you did more new school. So I said, cool, got you. And then I just wasn't feeling it. Like, I kind of get bored of playing that. I've been playing that music for like 10 years. You know, and I know it works, but I'm also looking at the crowd. I'm like, it's mostly younger people. I don't necessarily feel like doing that.
Yeah, because I
Then
also
he
switched it
said,
up.
yeah, you did switch it
Yeah.
up a bit. But then he said to me, can you play some piano? So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me do that.
You're the only man willing to do that shit. Now, I said, as my own person, as Kane, I'm never playing piano, bro.
Never ever.
Never playing piano. Because if I start playing piano, 50% of these brews won't have a job anymore. Okay, no cocky shit. But yeah, I can't play piano. I love the genre. I love listening to the music. I listen to it in my own free time. But yeah, I'm never playing piano. I can't.
Yeah, I hear you on that, bro. I think for me, when I do it, I'm not trying to sound like anybody else. So I'm trying to do it in my way. I'm not gonna literally play a song from beginning to end for 7 minutes and just write it out. Like, I'm gonna get bored. I'm not gonna stand there with my orca pipe next to me and one hand in the pocket.
But you're gonna
like,
stand there with your ear pop.
I don't smoke.
But yeah, on that topic, yesterday was actually one of the biggest, I think one of the biggest events we'll see for a minute, besides the cave
on
now.
The piano chat.
Yeah, on the piano chat. Pianoland, they pulled up at Broke Clubhouse yesterday, and they had their little get together and their little collab event with Broke themselves. And I'm not gonna lie, that shit was hard, bro.
Nice.
That shit was hard. Like the energy in that place. It was very Broke Clubhouse like, but just that feeling of knowing that something as big as Pianoland is in there, and again, they showed out, bro.
And for those that don't know, like, what is Pianoland?
Pianoland is basically an event / festival that is from Amsterdam. So they're based in Amsterdam, and they do a lot of piano-based events in Amsterdam. So they basically push that culture over on their side.
Yeah.
And it's massive, bro. Like they have like 18,000 followers on Instagram. They do a lot of, like, they book a lot of big people. Like I know, I think if I'm not mistaken, Mellow and Sleazy, they had a big video there now recently. They had Angelic also there.
Nice.
And his set went off. Like his set is going crazy on YouTube right now. So yesterday they did the collab with Broke, and again, massive turnout. Like again, you know, there was a queue. People are struggling to get inside.
Standard.
Even if they can just stand in front of the door, they take
Yeah.
it, and it was massive, bro. The energy in that place was insane.
And our boy was on the lineup, eh?
Yeah, shout out Snyders. Again, 2 weeks in a row. Mentioning him 2 weeks in a row in the pod.
Oh,
But-
yeah, he's getting free exposure.
Yeah, free
big
clout.
time. Shit.
But even then, like again, he killed it yesterday. I think this was also one of like a big achievement for him. And he didn't clock at first how huge the Pianoland thing
Yeah.
was until, you know, it sunk in, and he's like, oh shit, these people, they reached out to him. They said, yo, we, like, the team specifically said, we chose you
Wow.
to feature on this lineup.
So this wasn't Broke curating the lineup. It was a collab
It was-
event, but
it was
Pianoland
input from
had
both
the
ends,
okay,
input
cool.
from both ends.
That's big, bro.
That's massive, bro. And like the DM itself came straight from the Pianoland page. That's where he got his times and like more or less what he should play. And I'm not gonna lie, he cooked, boy. Like,
And he had an early set, eh?
Yeah,
He
he
played like
played
second or
like-
third.
yeah, he played like 10 to, I think it was 10 to 9 till,
Wow.
yeah, 10 to 9 until like 20 to 10.
And it was pumping that time already, eh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
full, bro. Like there was a queue. Like they had to obviously toughen up on security to make sure people don't slip in on any unnoticed sides. But he cooked. Like he genuinely went in. The crowd reception was amazing. People were screaming and shouting and going crazy. So again, that was a very fun thing to be at last night.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that, man. Shout out to everybody involved there. Like, obviously, it goes without saying, Broke is just, in my time, I've never seen anybody that has such a cultural impact in such an organic way. Like,
You're
they're
the
just
most
the
organic
nicest
way, bro.
people, and they don't force anything. They just,
Yeah.
and then, what happened after that? Oh, I
Yeah,
played Destiny,
well,
and then, what was it? Oh, Anthony Anderson was there. At Destiny.
Oh, that man must go home, maybe.
He's stuck here.
No disrespect, but like on some.
He's like boss now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys have been here for like a minute. Leave our middies, guys. Leave the middies alone. But yeah, he's been in the country for like a hot minute now, and I'm always seeing him pop. I was
But it was
actually
cool.
last night because
Yeah.
that was a
Glamour.
glamour event.
Jake's Tanner. It was good, man. It's always good there.
Yeah. True.
But I've started noticing that, like, because that venue is so popular, when it starts out, it feels like our community is there. So when you walk in that place, you're greeting 20 people.
Yeah.
You know everybody. I walked in there last night and I knew no one. Like, literally no one. And that was weird for me. It was the first time,
Yeah.
like, in a while I felt like that.
And
but
the
it was
VIP,
full.
no one that you knew, besides
No.
the guys.
Yeah, no.
I saw they were playing drums in the VIP last night.
For real.
Was it last night or the night before? But I saw on Tanner's story. They were playing drums in the VIP. Bro. I was like, why don't they ever do that when I'm there? I smack drums in the VIP, bro. Not gonna lie.
That's so wild. Anthony Anderson was chilled though, eh? Like, he was on the dance floor. I still took a video. It was like in the middle of the dance floor taking pictures with people. And yeah, but yeah, he needs to go home now.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, when Icon was on the Drinks Boot pod, we had this chat about events, and he said like, it's cool and all to take your event to a popular place and have that place generate feed for you, but show me you take your event to an unknown venue and you generate the buzz yourself.
That's
what's your take on that one?
No, I agree with him 100%, because even like for G Day, I knew that doing it at Destiny would help a lot in terms of I can market it as much as I can, but there's already an existing following for that venue. So even if they didn't know about my event, they're going to come to Destiny.
Be there.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes it easier. But now doing something where people have to know about the event and they have to physically go there, especially to a venue that isn't popular or doesn't even exist. Like, say you do something in like Pardon Island, you know, you don't just find yourself in Pardon Island.
Yeah, you have to go there specifically for that thing, which is actually a thing to touch on, because like with the cave, for example, that since volume 1, it's always been a challenge. Like you again, like we have in the 3rd edition now in Woodstock, which is the same place we had the first 2 editions, and always when it comes close to D-Day, also D-Day is on the 24th of Feb now, so we're recording this on Sunday, so this coming Saturday, the cave is going down.
It's gonna be nuts. Like we sat and prepared.
Bro, Friday was actually really silly. We're doing a madness.
Brody must still tell you about this, but just like we sat for a couple of hours, and the thing with what we're trying to do with this whole foreplay thing is we're not trying to do gigs every weekend and everywhere. It's a selective
thing. It's a spectacle.
It's a showcase.
Yeah.
So, we're not even repeating the same song.
We were very strict on that. So like we had a practice session on Friday, and we went, before we actually played music, we went through a process of elimination. So I'm not playing any of the songs that I played on my 2 previous cave sets. We're not playing anything from your cave set, nor are we playing anything from the previous foreplay set, you know. And
that's a lot of songs to leave out. It's a lot of music and ideas.
Very strict on that. So shout out. But yeah, like I was saying, like whenever we get close to D-Day, there's always a crazy amount of pressure for like pulling people out of the CBD and keep like getting people to stray away from the nightclubs and that sort of thing. Because again, the convenience of going clubbing is the fact that you can walk from place to place if you're not feeling the vibe at a specific place.
For example, you in Bree Street, you can just hop
you
around.
can walk to Long, you can go to Loop. Whereas like pulling people to a specific event, again, i.e. the cave, that's the challenging part, you know. And I think that's the part that's the most commendable part, because again, whether you get 100, 200, 300 people, just the fact that you had the ability to pull those people to one specific place and say, hey, whether you pull up at 9 or you pull up at 10 or 12, but this is you for the rest of the night. Yeah. It's ugly.
Because you're asking people to make a commitment, essentially, right? It's not just their time and their money, but it's also like, if we're going there, we want to stay there, because we're not going to waste our time by going all the way out to Woodstock or something like that, because if it's not a vibe, we're going to leave and we're not coming back to Woodstock.
Yeah, you know? When you leave, you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's why like a lot of like the 3 cave lineups, it was carefully curated in a way that, you know, it's multi-genre, so that's important. But also just bringing together acts and people that you want to see. I think that was like the main thing for us when we started curating it and putting it together.
That's also knowing your target market very well, though, as well.
We do have there's a niche group of people that we have targeted with the cave. But again, it's not to say that you can't come to the cave. You know, everyone's welcome. There's a bit of something for everyone. The music, especially where music is concerned, you know, like you bring in together a group of creatives to express their talent and express their creativity for music, you know, like Surreal Sessions. Again, we mentioned it last week, one of the best best DJ duo in terms of GOM. And again, it's insane when you look at the stuff that they do. Like, they've been sending me a couple of exclusive tracks lately, and like, bro, these men are cooking. So yeah, come watch your shit at the cave, man. I don't want to talk about it. Come experience it, man.
Yeah, so I got this, it's Sunday today, and I got a message today at 11 a.m. From a venue that I've played at many times before, that I love playing at, and they wanted me to play at 4 p.m. today. So 5 hours from the time that I got the message, not knowing anything about it, yo, can you play today? And usually I would probably jump at that because I know how they operate. They usually do that in any case. I wasn't surprised. But it just kind of, it made me think about the fact that our lives are very, what's the word? We can't really plan our lives.
Yeah, scheduling is a big problem when you're a DJ.
Big
If you're not
time.
a headliner and you didn't book 20 shows ahead of time,
Yeah.
your scheduling is messed.
I even had this chat with some friends I saw last night, and they were like, are you booked for the next few months? Like, how's your year looking? I was like, honestly, I can tell you what's happening for the next 2-3 weeks, maybe. That's how it works here. Like, we work on a week-to-week basis, max 2 weeks in advance, unless it's a really big festival or something like that, or corporate thing. Most events are they feel kind of impromptu and spontaneous, right?
In Cape Town, I would say yes. Again, like they'd know 2 weeks from now they want to do an event on this Saturday, but they'd only fully establish their lineup the week of the event when they drop a lineup poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me especially to commit to my personal life outside of DJing, especially because we DJ on the weekends. That's where everybody else has
Free time.
their free time, their birthday parties, their whatever they're doing. So like, it's a struggle to commit to saying, yeah, I'll definitely be at this and this.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just a balance of trying to figure that out. And also it's like your energy is a big thing. It's a big thing. And we're in February now, almost in March. And last year was insane for me. Honestly, I think it was maybe the busiest year of my life gig-wise.
Last
I
year?
still want to look at like the amount of gigs I did, because I think I did at least 3 gigs a weekend every single weekend.
For December, or just for like last
The
year as
whole
a
year.
whole?
I'm
Damn.
saying this because winter, and I've mentioned this before to some other people, last winter was the worst weather we've had in a long time in Cape Town. It was like really, really bad.
But the most active.
So active. Yeah. Like it would be storming, thunderstorms. There were trees falling down.
Man, them are outside.
So it's a good thing, like not complaining at all.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong. Like super blessed, but it's been every single week for the past 14 months. And it's not really like we can afford to
say no.
To say no and take off.
Yeah.
This week I was feeling like kind of burnt out, like mentally and physically. And I mean, I've been sick and soldiered through, and there's been times where you just kind of have to take off, and you just hope that you're good for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
But you could wake up Friday morning or Saturday morning. Like this weekend, I almost felt like, yo, am I really going to cancel 5 gigs? You know, you can't do that.
You can't.
And there's no backup plan. There's no insurance of saying like you work at a job and you can say, yeah, I'm feeling sick, and you're still going to get your pay at the end of the month.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. If we don't work, we don't get paid.
Yeah, that's true, bro. I think that's an aspect of the game that is, it's misinterpreted. Like again, like for
we
me,
also
right?
don't earn that much money where we could just say, yeah, I
it
can
depends.
afford.
It depends. Sometimes you rake it in. I'm not gonna lie. But like in my aspect, for example, I do work a 9 to 5 also, you know, and that's like my nest egg / security.
Sure.
And then obviously all the gigs money and that on top of it is as quote unquote gravy. So you would think like, oh, you're living comfortably, you're living soft, which you can say is the case, but there's a lot that goes into it, bro. Like again, your 9 to 5 is Monday to Friday, and that keeps you busy.
Yeah.
But now you have something on a Thursday, so now you're out on a Thursday to 1 to 2 a.m. and then you fall asleep, and then you come home, you sleep at like 4 a.m. and then you have to be up for work again at 7, and then you have to dip to work and concentrate there for 8 hours, and then the Friday again, and then the weekend it's non-stop. That's why I cherish an off Sunday. Like I used to never book gigs on a Sunday. And then I had a YT residency for a while, for like 3 months, where every Sunday I'd be there. And then now I don't do it anymore. And I'm like, okay, cool, I have my Sundays free, I can rest, because Sundays are vital just to reset. So there was a time where I didn't have that Sunday to reset, and I was cooked, bruh. I was cooked.
I hear you, man. But it's tempting when somebody says to you, here's a firstly a gig,
Yeah.
and it's a great gig. Like for today, this
Yeah.
is a incredible gig, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but like I love playing at this place, and it's good money too.
Yeah.
So for me to sit and say, the guy
I
called
can't.
me, I can't do it today, that's when I'm saying to myself, yeah, I probably need a rest.
Yeah.
I probably need to just like chill out a bit.
It's hard to say no though,
It's really
because again, our scene is so fast paced. And again, no matter how good you are at what you do or how popular you are at what you do, if you miss 2 weekends in a row, you run that risk of falling. I wouldn't say falling
out of
off,
form,
but like
but
falling out of
yeah.
form.
Yeah.
And just like it can go one of two ways. It can go that people are going to miss you for that 2 weeks, and they're going to be
Sure.
like, damn, I haven't heard this person play in so long. I need them on the scene.
Yeah.
Or it will go on some, okay, yeah, he's not here. Okay, that's cool. So that's why it's
Yeah.
really hard, especially like I would say, in my personal opinion, like for me, it's hard to take a break, and for me, it's hard to not have a gig every weekend. Because again, I'm not 10 years in the game, or I'm not long in the game
Yeah.
for my name to be quote unquote like household. So that's why I still push, and I still run after things, and I still make sure that my name is like in certain places.
Yeah.
But like again, it does come with a huge stretch to like rest and like regather yourself. So yeah, me personally, I've been pushing myself, I would say, way too hard, but I don't plan on slowing down.
No, and I don't think you should. Like, if I think back to when I was your age, I mean, me and Brody would be driving to Malmray and Malmesbury, and then back into town, and then to Paul, and then 5-6 gigs a night. It was just stupid,
Yeah.
and it's not sustainable.
3 nights, or like 3
Yeah.
Friday, Sunday,
In a
you do
row.
6 gigs like each night.
Yeah. It's just not sustainable, like health-wise and energy-wise. And then what starts happening is, for instance, last night, where my brain is dead and I'm repeating songs and stuff because I'm not fresh, I'm not concentrating. So it's a double-edged sword where you don't take the money, you don't take the gig, but you can reset and get. It's a short-term sacrifice.
Yeah.
Or you go there and you're not your best. You don't have energy, and I don't think most people realize that we are humans at the end of the day, and we are there to entertain you, and you have an expectation of us, but it's like it's not the easiest thing always to just give 100% every single
I'll
time.
run it back to what I said last week. This DJ shit is not cute, bro. A lot of people don't understand the mental impact it has on you at times. Like again, like you're saying now, you had to run around to 5 different places yesterday, and when you hit the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, you were completely out of it. And again, it's an aspect that the outsider doesn't get to see every now and then, because again, you in the public eye, and you are the forefront for that hour 45 minutes that you play. So they expect you to be 100%. They expect you to be raving and jiving and going crazy.
Don't you think this kind of ties into why DJs drink a lot? Because if you are, I guess, maybe like you crashing and burning now, right? Like if I just got super lit last night and just gave myself that energy of just, I'm drunk, so I can just carry on. And I think that might tie into it. Like sometimes we don't have the energy just internally as we are, so we maybe rely on a bit of an external sort of.
You know what I think it's that ties into that? I think buying into the lifestyle ties into that. Because again, a lot of what you do behind the decks is based off your emotion and how you're feeling at that point in time.
100%.
So if you're feeling tired and burnt out, you're going to play lethargic. Your mind's going to slip on things. You're going to miss your cue points and that sort of thing. And I think this is where, if we touch on it, like the whole rider and entourage chat comes into play. Because if you consistently have your team there, like hear me out, if you consistently have your team there, and every place you play at, they give you a rider and they give you a bottle, so now the energy is up, you jolly, your team is going cool, and you have people to conversate with and people to connect with, and then that obviously feeds into your energy where you're up and you're doing the most, and your team is also excited to be outside. But I think if you're running it alone in this instance, and you and like again, if you're riding solo to your gigs and stuff like that, and you're not with an entourage, you know, you don't have people putting energy back into you while you exerting it.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the times I'd have one or two homies with me, and you know, they'd hype me up during a set. They'd be like, yo, that was a crazy transition, or you're doing crazy here. Or they'd criticize me. So like, yo, you're actually playing nonsense here now.
Yeah.
You need to pick it up again. And that's like, okay, cool. Let me get on my Zoom again.
That's another thing. Like, so Brody would often say we had 2 or 3 gigs, and maybe I did a gig here, the next gig I do the same sort of thing, maybe for 2 or 3 songs. He'd be in my ear and he'd be like, I see you doing this again now, eh? You know, so it's like...
But, okay, that's different because it's a
But that's a
different
good
audience.
thing.
It's a good thing,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's a different audience because like, again, if you have 5 sets in a night, you can play the same set at least 3 of those gigs because it's vastly different audiences.
You can, but
and then
you're going to get bored of yourself.
You're going to get bored,
and
but
then
that's
your
why
energy like,
you
doesn't
can switch it up
transmit.
afterwards, man.
Yeah.
But like again, if it's 5 different locations, you can at least play the same set at 2 or 3 of those locations
Fair
and
enough.
then switch it up.
Yeah. I want to wrap it up on our last segment here about what we're trying to get from our fans and supporters.
Yeah.
Something that we've had an idea is to do these mix challenges.
Yeah. So like, if we break it down, right? So 1 minute mix challenges. So I don't know how many of you guys would know, but like you used to do, I don't know if you still do it, but the Impossible Mix on 5FM.
Yeah.
Where like radio requesters would send in 3 or 4 obscure songs, and it would be his responsibility to kind of mix them together and blend them in a way. I used to do a thing called radio reels where I would take a bunch of my favorite local artists and my favorite songs of theirs, and I would mash them up together and kind of put them into like a 1 minute mix. So essentially we're throwing out a challenge idea now where you guys can get into either the YouTube comment section or our Instagram comment section and just give us 2, 3, maybe 4 of the most obscure songs you can think of and challenge us on a weekly basis.
It can be anything. It can be a theme. Bro. You could say, a theme. I don't know.
It could be wordplay. It could be tone play. It could be anything that you guys...
Even something like blonde artists, blonde singers.
Or something like that. Like,
you know,
left-handed singers
silly.
or something.
Yeah.
So
anything.
Like, give us the challenge and we'll come together as Foreplay and we'll put a little 1 minute routine together that we'll either post the day before the episode drops or the day after. Yeah. So it's, and again, it just ties into obviously our podcast being interactive and that sort of thing. But again, this is for DJs by DJs and for creatives by creatives. And again, it's just to keep us on our toes and to challenge ourselves.
And music lovers in general.
And just music lovers in general. Like again, this whole thing is about music and us coming together and being Foreplay and obviously sharing information about our industry with you guys. And this is a good way for us to stay interactive and connect with you guys.
So you can even comment on...
Yeah, you guys can get...
comment.
You guys can go crazy like right now in the comment section.
Yeah.
We should have the first challenge out before we record the next episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go crazy in the comment section.
Cool. I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah. So again, like, comment, subscribe, share. Again, if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, the comment section is open for questions. If there's anything you guys would want us to address, especially DJs and like artists and that sort of thing, if there's anything you want us to touch on within the industry, something that's not clear to you, pop it in the comment section. Hit us up. At Foreplay_DJs on all social media platforms.
He doesn't know like who we are. Let's chat.
Guys,
Foreplay.
I have a million tabs open in my mind, unfortunately. So yeah, I've been thinking about a lot of things. But yeah, it's at Foreplay_DJs on all platforms. Hit us up if you want us to talk about something specific. Love.
Cool.
Love being on the sofa. Yeah.
We out.
Yeah.
Next time. Peace.
Me, when we go on tour, that time I find the girl of my dreams.